Thank you very much. Very embarrassing, but this happens every maybe 5 or 6 live streams. So, let's start again. My name is Mar. I created a studio of animation and comic here in Japan, and usually what I do in these live streams is I just draw live. I do animation, I do designs, I do whatever I have to do so the studio grows and creates. However, right now I'm in the middle of lots of paperwork, recruiting, talking with prospect clients and so on. So I decided to take some questions I got from Instagram and put them in a live stream where I just explain some frequently asked questions about my adventure when I was studying animation in Japan 2-3 years ago now. So it was a 2-year course thing, traditional style animation. So I'll read those questions, I'll be replying them because I know that the person who asked will watch the stream now or later, and then I'll just go on with the chat. So we're streaming this on Twitch and YouTube, so you may not know where the questions are coming on. I'm also just shared this somewhere else, so I'm getting other stuff. Okay, so thank you, Fede, thank you. Where are you? Chat! Right, I forgot to open one tab. That happens, in the biggest streams I have the biggest technical issues, but yeah, welcome to live recordings. I'm trying to get to a chat where I should see everything from Twitch and YouTube together. If you have any questions, just put it in the chat. I'll go later, in order, and reply to everyone. What? What's wrong with the chat application? Right. So everything seems to be working well. Good. Now I was wondering, my screen looks too well. Chat's waiting for messages, but we're in the middle of a stream. Please tell me everything is working. Yes, it is. Huh? And I know there's messages. Oh well, just go back and forth. Twitch and YouTube. So on YouTube, I see Muzzle Flash, Ramon, Meows. Hello. Nice to have you here as always. Gonzalo. TH Boy, hello, and thank you for telling me about the sounds. Dionys, happy to have you, and looking forward to give you more work. Ramon, thank you. I'm doing something strange with my hair today, actually. Normally I don't. I just brush it when I have to take a shower, and then I let it curl, but today it's just poof, volume. Thank you very much. Alright, so let me go ahead and read the message I was sent to on Instagram. Alright, so what I was sent is, hey Mar, I really enjoy watching your live streams on YouTube while I do college work. I am studying animation and I hope to improve and become as good as you are one day. I'm not so good, but thank you. I'm really inspired by you, as I can tell how much work you've done to get to this point. Also, if it's okay, I was hoping to ask about how you got into animation school in Japan and what kind of qualifications did you need to get in. We'll go to this soon. You may not say this, but if you do, thank you very much. I did, of course I did. I read all the messages that are sent to me. Sorry for ending this. I forgot to ask if when you studied animation, did you have to conduct research about artists and animation and writing? If yes, how did you manage it? Most likely, I'm also assuming because of the Japanese language. It might be something people find easy to do, but I struggle a lot myself and express myself through writing. Okay, so let's go question by question, and again, I'll go later check your chat. I'll check your chat from time to time. Anyone? Hey, hello, David Luke. I really don't know why the chat doesn't seem like the put together chat is not working. Usually I would see all the messages in one place. But anyway, right. So, I forgot to use the light because there's not much light from the window coming in today. it's good weather in Japan lately, I will say. The typhoon season seems to be like sort of over now. Right, so as we got to the first question, which is most likely the biggest one, I can get into more and more detail later with more questions. So, how you got into animation school in Japan, and what kind of qualifications did you need to get in? How's the weather going in Tokyo? Okay, as you said, it's getting fresh, finally, October weather style, and usually sunny these days, but a bit cloudy today. How did I get into animation school? So basically what I did is like my journey could be a bit different for anyone else, of course. I come from Spain, from Barcelona, so I have nationality is Spanish, I'm European. So I traveled, well, first there I had a high school. I did my high school degree, and I also went to university. I have a degree of 4 years on audiovisual media. Important detail about high school. You need high school when we talk about requirements. Then I went to Japan through a service called Go Nihon, which you have the link in the description. That they helped me basically find a language school in Japan, and basically with all the paperwork involved. So I self-sponsor myself, actually family sponsoring, but basically I came on my own to Japan to study the language for. I was in that school for 1 year and 9 months, but in 1 year and 6 months I actually took one of the requirements I needed for vocational school. So high school, then university in Spain, then Japanese language school in Tokyo, and then I went to the vocational school. Okay, the actual requirements though were one that I needed a high school diploma from my own country or for wherever. That should be like 12 years of education, I believe. I don't know about the exact years in this case, but the school requirement, like to see like if I had at least high school diploma. That's important because actually people at my class, especially the Japanese ones, were like 19, 20 years old, because they just went out from high school and entered the vocational school. So that's why it's like the minimum you need to get to that further education. Then another requirement for me was to prove that my Japanese was good enough. The school was full in Japanese. The teachers speak Japanese. The paperwork was all in Japanese. Completely. Some teachers speak some word in English. Some classmates could understand some things in English, or Chinese or other languages. We were actually half, like half Japanese, half other countries. So, as we said, requirements were high school, diploma, and a decent level of Japanese. Now, how do you prove that you have enough Japanese? The school has a test for one, but the most easy way to enter is basically that you have the GLPT N2, that's the Japanese Language Proficiency Test, level N2. That's there's 5 levels of this test. Level 5 is the lowest skilled Japanese, and number 1 is like the top where even some Japanese natives could even have trouble to get. So I have the second one. The second one was like, okay, enough. Supposedly you have enough. But then you have an interview, and in that interview they'll ask you things in Japanese. So you sort of prove yourself that you can manage. I mean, if you can manage the paperwork itself, like the forms and so on to enter, you can talk in Japanese to the person. That should be enough for language. I'm reading other questions. I'm checking the chat just in case to see I'm not missing anything that's like urgent. Otherwise, I'll continue explaining the requirements to enter to the vocational school. Something interesting is that in that interview, where I like bring all the paperwork and so on, I also brought a portfolio of my previous works, but they were like, oh, you wrote a portfolio? Oh, sure, let's see, like, okay. But actually it was not a requirement. I don't need to know how to draw. Like, they expect me to draw and learn there. However, if you want to become an animator in Japan or any type of artist, if you can draw every day on your home country, wherever you are right now, do it, because that's more points to you when you go to the upper level. Any teacher will help you go to an upper level if you're level, if your level right now is 0, fine, you can start anytime. It's never too late, so go for it. But if you can start early, it will benefit you in the long run because they will help you go even farther. So that's one advice. You don't need a portfolio, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try creatively already. So there's also other requirements that in that school, I mean, it depends on all schools, right? Like all vocational schools will be different, but high school diploma and Japanese level will be a must, except if the classes are, for example, in English or something like that. Then there's other requirements that are more like immigration style, that could be like, okay, if you need a student visa, maybe you need an X amount of money that proves that you will be able to stay in Japan, that you have funds, like savings enough to stay in Japan. If you maybe don't have those savings, someone related to you, like legally related to you, let's say your parents, may be able to sponsor you, or maybe yourself if you have like either savings or you're maybe self-employed and you can show enough papers. Like depending on the situation, you will need different papers. So prepare in advance, check the requirements of that school, or more like immigration, because it's not that the school chooses that you need the money, which, well, you'll need money because it's not cheap, even with scholarships. But yeah, basically it takes time to gather all the papers. Again, what I suggest, like I really suggest the path I took, like going as a student, visa, learning the Japanese language, because they helped me go through that interview, they helped me go through all this process of like all the paperwork, all the forms, all of this. I go through my Japanese language school, like, please help me, how do I pass the interview, what will they ask me, what's the etiquette, go with a suit. Sounds very hard. Well, it's doable, it's possible, but it takes preparation. It's not exactly hard. I mean, remember that vocational school, at least, you just graduated from high school. At that time, I think I was that right, 22? It was 24. I don't know how old I was. But most students go there from high school. It's just that for foreigners, you need extra documentation so you can stay in Japan legally. That's all. So, for example, in my case, I was already living in Japan. I already had a bank account. I have a part-time job. I had, like, everything was set for me. I was just like moving from one institution, the Japanese language school, to the vocational school, in this case for animation. Kanji. It's a question, just a question that says kanji. Yes, Japanese kanji, but again, there's tools to translate things like you have like Google Translate and some things. If you want to study animation in Japan, yeah, you need to be fluent in Japanese. We'll go through more about the language later, but basically it's not that you need to have a 100% native Japanese level either, and you can get help. Okay, so let's go through before entering the school, and then I'll talk a bit more about the inside. Okay, so I was talking about the requirements to enter. Let me think if I don't forget anything. Yeah, like the most important ones I think, I mean, of course, like take a picture of yourself, like the form questions. Like they would ask me, oh yeah, I had to make like a Japanese style, like assignment, like writing, sorry, I don't know the word in English right now, but basically there's like one page where you have to explain why do you want to study animation. So for example, I wrote, okay, I always like to draw as a kid, and I believe that you can communicate a lot of good messages through stories, through animation. This is my passion, and animation in Japan, like Japanese animation, is one of the the styles that inspires me the most, blah blah. So I just make like a story. In this case, again, I wrote it in Japanese. I tried. I go through my Japanese language school. They corrected that. I wrote it again because it's on paper, like pencil, like, yeah, pencil. I don't think it was even pen. I think it was in pencil, or at least handwriting for sure. And I sent it to the school with The other documents we just like, I guess, proof and so on. By the way, while talking about money, there are scholarships as well, and I applied for them. For the first year, I didn't get it. I get one scholarship for the second year, and I also get scholarships when I was on the Japanese language school. That said, if you want scholarships, don't always think about grades. It is also related to your income, and it's also very related to attending to class. You have to go to class every day. Some people may sleep. I don't recommend that. Do not sleep at class, but you have to go, and the teacher has to check it. From the Japanese language school, for example, they would say, what's my attending to class grade? So of course my paperwork what matters is that I went through high school, but because the last school I went to was a Japanese language school, they checked like, okay, what were your grades and other things from there. How does scholarship work? It's good I was talking about that. Is it possible to get a full paid right scholarship? It depends. It depends on the school. Like the school may have some scholarships, and then the school may be enrolled to some governmental scholarships, or like that trade, like that industry scholarship type. So the ones I got, I think from the Japanese language school, it was like after I went in and I was paying for a while, I got like the last month I got a scholarship that was from JASO. So JASSO, I don't remember what's the long name of this organization. I don't know if it's governmental, but it's not like from the school. And then when I was in the language school, when I was in the vocational school, I got like, there were like also again different scholarships. On the, I think it was the first or the second year, there were like 3 candidates could get the scholarship or something like that. And I couldn't apply for some reason. And the second year I applied, but instead of 3 candidates of that scholarship that was governmental, they were just hiring one spot. And I was the second or third to get it. I was like, so it's almost about to get it. I will not say it's difficult, like impossible then, but it could be possible to get scholarships. And again, it will depend on the school how much you get. Getting the full year paid, like the full year paid in fees, I think it was possible, but getting the full experience, like you have to live in Japan, and that costs some money. For example, like flights, like living expenses, traveling, materials may not be covered. So it is possible to get some helps, but yeah. And also you can always check with your own country, governments, and again, depends on the school. Yeah, it could be possible. All right. Let me see if there are other questions. I will not check. I wish I could mark the questions in the chat. Let me think before entering the Japanese language school, something I would like to add as a requirement. I think that would be this like forms, filling in forms with information like picture and classic. Like imagine you do a CV, like a resume, and then the writing, Japanese level high, Japanese level, that's where if you need help, like please check Go Nihon, like the link is in the description of these. Oh wait, maybe it's not in the description of the Twitch one, so let me just link it for you. So live and study in Japan, those are the ones who helped me, and I can, yeah, like they're good, they're still doing it. Actually it has various languages. If you speak other languages than English, they can help in your native language. There has like 7-8 languages available. Anyway, just check them. What else? I said the portfolio is not necessary, but that's my recommendation, that if you are going there for the art part, you do it. Remember, it was an animation course. I mean, not remember, but let me explain you. It was an animation course, but even if half of the people wanted to become an animator, there was also teachings to become an editor, like to actually compose the scenes. There was teachings about like background art. There was teaching like classes about like all the different parts inside the animation industry, maybe except voice acting. In that case, actually, we collaborated with another school who did the voice acting. So when I did like the thesis, like the video that should be running here, when I check this screen, by the way, it's like I check that size because I'm checking that the screen and what you're saying that it's fine and your chat. So the video that's here is my thesis. We created between 5 of our from our class. It was a class of 20 people, 20-ish people, in a group of 5. I was acting as a director, but obviously we had lots of help between us. We created this thing, but the audio voices were recorded in one of the teachers' French studio, and we had a collaboration with some voice acting school students came to voice these actors. Fun enough, there's no words in my project, like they don't speak any language, but they're like, oh, you, like they actually have like voices, like for example, what's about to happen, it's like, yeah, everyone's like, energy, like the dragon, oh my god, the dragon, the poor people, the lovely guy was doing a big effort to emulate the dragon, but in the end I had to switch so much of the effects to get a dragonish voice. I mean, who knows how a dragon sounds anyway, but anyway, I got like, I think like a bear, an eagle, a tiger, like all the sounds mashed up together, a machine, I think, to make like the dragon sounds, and yeah, you really cannot recognize the guy voice, poor thing. Considering that studying abroad a language school is a stepping stone, just stay at Japan. Yeah, like it is good to like, I mean, you will need Japanese if you want to consider becoming an animator in Japan and you want to go through the path of studying in a Japanese school or animation, like animation department, whatever. You will need Japanese most likely. I know of no, like right now, I believe there are no other schools in Japan that teach animation in English or fully in English. However, there's also resources online if you want to learn to animate on your own. And I know that recently there's assistants, like production assistants from anime studios that contact people right on Twitter and ask them to do animation. So you don't even have to go to Japan to participate in the anime industry in Japan. I'm explaining again my experience, so what you want to do and what's best for you could be different, and they use Google Translate for everything. It's another way, it's another path to go. Nice. Hey Abel, nice to see you. No, I haven't heard of Bahi JD. I may have to check later. Let me know the name. Okay, actually, let me take a very short pause. I'll be back in less than 5 minutes. I'll continue explaining now, most likely about from when I entered the animation school, things I'd like you to know before you consider like taking this path, or just if you're curious about how it was. So give me a moment, I'll be back soon. Alright, I am back. I don't think I've missed many questions from the chat. I'll check later, but first I'll have to go ahead for the Instagram. So let me present myself again in case you entered later. My name is Mar, and I created a comic animation studio here in Japan Before that, I studied animation in a vocational school in Tokyo, 2 years course, and today we're talking about that experience because I've been receiving a lot of eviction stuff. Usually in these weekly live streams, what I do is just like animate and do the actual work I have to be doing, but this week's again I'm in paperwork mode and other stuff, so I just like took the questions people ask me and enjoy the time that way. You see me looking at this screen. I have like at that side, it's because I have the other monitor with the chat and other information to see that the live stream is working. We started without sound and it got fixed thanks to you. Right now it should be working. Oh, see, it was not in the right. I have the habit to put the the screen of like live because I'm working on art, but right now I should be opening this one. See, that's why it's good that I keep checking that everything is alright. Xenophos, I think I've heard that name. Alright, so thank you very much for the questions and so on, and suggestions of animators to check. Let's go back to the message I received earlier about my experience. So I was asked about how I got into animation school and what kind of qualifications did I need to get in. Again, summary: high school diploma, Japanese language proficiency, like fluent Japanese language. We'll talk a bit more about that. And like writing of what I want to enter and other like type of forms, and of course proof that I had the amount of money required to enter. You can get scholarships, but I think all of the scholarships are given after you enter, so you need the money beforehand, even if it comes back. Important one. I've been also asked, do you have to conduct research about artists and animation and writing? About writing, okay. And Japanese, because as remember, this school was all full in Japanese. The teachers had no idea about it. Well, they could understand some English, maybe writing and so on, some words, but I wouldn't say they were fluent at all. I mean, they were great at animation, of course, or the subject they were teaching. We have classes of like fundamental drawing, background art class, animation, lots of animation, character design. We had editing, we had like a script, a story of animation, like many things. But as you may have heard right now, it's a lot of practice. To be honest, I didn't write a single essay, I think, or like more than a paragraph when I was there. Most of it was like either forums. We had one test that was in like checklist, not checklist, was like a ABC type of test. But most of it was practice, so you need to understand the teachers, what are they asking you to do, and draw it. That's the basics of it, and also know how to communicate to your teacher. So that's one of the reasons why my Japanese is fluent, especially in writing, especially in speaking and listening, especially listening, because that's what I practiced the most in that time. I learned a lot of new vocabulary about animation, which also has a lot of English influence, but they will, like, it doesn't sound as English. If you have tried to study Japanese, you will know that to select, for example, animation cell, like the frame layer, like instead of cell you would say seru, instead of frame they would say furemu, instead of animation they will say animation is similar, but like animator they will say animeta, like ta, like that, animeta. Or other vocabulary would be instead of scene they will see as a sheen. So it comes from the English, but it's not the same. So you will also learn like animation Japanese. Like in the language school I learned fluent Japanese in general, and then in the animation school, did I just made a mess? In the Japanese language school, when I studied in Tokyo before entering to the vocational animation school, I studied general Japanese. And when I entered the vocational school and practiced drawing and so on, I understand the teacher and started learning a lot of new words that they belong to this industry. For example, if you say Buddha, if you're thinking of general Japanese, you can think, did you just say like bra, like underwear? But actually, Buddha, I think it was the one that's the abbreviation of how you tell that one part of the screen or a layer on the frame is blur. So it's like not in full focus. So that, no, oh, that was bokeh. But then again, bokeh, boketeru, meaning that it's blur. The relation to boketeru would be bokeh, and that means it's blur. I think bokeh means something different. Isn't it a type of fish? I don't even know right now. But there's like some things like that are within industry. So what you need to know is like how to communicate to your teachers, how to communicate to your classmates, and hope that your classmates are as good as mine. I had some lovely classmates that really helped me, because like the teacher would say a bunch of things. I was like, okay, but what do I have to do? Because maybe I got like 50-60% of what they say, and between that 50-60 I didn't know what the assignment was. Or the explanation, maybe like I got, okay, I need to make an animation from these resources they gave me, but which technique should I use? Or by when, things like that. I mean, like by when is quite easy to guide things. As if, or maybe like the school give you a paper like saying that you'll have an activity trip in 2 weeks, and it say like the paper says like by when you have to, like if there's an extra payment or not, what do you have to bring, where do you have to go, by which time will be there, do you have to prepare anything in advance, what will you do there in that activity. So I will have the paper and be like, what is this? And then the super happy, like super nice girl sitting next to me would be like, okay, this is an activity, we're going that way, pay by this day, like summarize like this is what you have to do, and then in the day we'll go somewhere. It's like, oh, we're going to a mountain trip and we're doing pizza together. Like I don't know, I understood it was barbecue, but I didn't know that we would actually all together like bake a pizza for a community event. Like there's many things that you just like, okay, I'll just survive it somehow. But yeah, so Japanese, be fluent in it, and also be nice to others. You will get help from them, because even if you have anyone Japanese at some point, you need help, because it's industry language thing. You're not alone, and you do a lot of group work as well. For example, actually, it was interesting in my class. We were, as I said, 20 something, and it was like half and half foreigners and Japanese students, more or less. And it was also like quite half and half in male and female. So somehow in the first year especially, then we all get like super mixed and you know everyone. But in the first months, it was interesting to see how the male non-Japanese got in a group together, the male non-foreigners get in a group together. Most of them speaking Chinese, like even not being Chinese, like they know some level of Chinese. Then there was the lady Japanese group and the male Japanese group. The Japanese students were younger in average because they just finished high school, so also they were in a different mental state of us, the foreigners, because we had to learn Japanese at some point, so we were mostly older. I was the oldest of the class. I think, how old was I? I think I graduated at 25, 26 years old. I don't even remember right now, but it was called One-san. I mean, no one called me like that, but I was quite older than everyone else in the class. But actually, I somehow fitted in the ladies Japanese group, so I got a lot of help in there, because I managed, and I was treated super well by then. Of course, like you may feel like this, you may have read about like microaggressions where Japanese are being racist without noticing, or not in purpose, like treating you differently in some ways, but actually for them it's just like being curious. So, but in general, they really treated me as one more, and endured with lots of patience that I didn't get many things. but I also work really hard to do the work, right? Like I for both years I was given the award to be the best student of the class because of the grades I took at every class and so on. So like drawing and everything. I'm checking that there's nothing in the chat. Seems good. Wait, how are you, Mar? Are you asking me how I am or how old I am? I'm actually, wait, I'm 29, I believe? 20, yeah, I'm 29 this year. I seem I'm very happy today. Yeah, your Japanese skyrockets in Japan like crazy. Like, if you learn a language, go there as much as you can. Be safe, please. We know there's a pandemic going on right now, for example, as I was mentioning, this service going on that will help you for free. So they help you for free, but of course, like, you have to pay the school you choose. They will help you for free to do the paperwork and to settle in the new country, like in Japan. But they also are launching, like they already have online, like some online Japanese courses for now. If you're not ready to jump now because of pandemic issues, they're already open. I think the borders, like this month, they're opening the borders for Japanese students. Excuse me. Same questions. How long was the Japanese language school? Okay, so Japanese language school, usually it depends on the school. There are schools with low to high intensity. My school was a medium high intensity one, but usually they say, like, the government estimates that it will take you 2 years of Japanese language school in Japan, like focus study, like we're saying, Monday to Friday, 3-4 hours of lessons and then homework. So like this, like intensive studying. Not intensive school, but like full 2 years of going Monday to Friday to a Japanese language school every morning or every afternoon. It took you it will be like that, like 2 years. I'm making a mess of how I'm explaining because I keep checking the screen and I get confused. But yeah, let me reframe this. If you study Japanese in Japan for the estimate 2 years, you will be fluent in Japanese. Of course, it depends on you. It depends if the school is more low or high intensity, like the homework you do, and so on. In my case, I studied some Japanese before going to Japan, and it took me, so that they estimated, so there was this 2-year course, and I entered directly to the post 6 months. So it was like if I skipped 6 months. And 1 year after that, I took the Japanese language proficiency test and success at it. So it's like if I studied 1.5 years in Japan and then took it. Many others will take 2 years, well, or more. Like, it depends on you, really not. That's the calculation on averages, of course, but if you can start studying when you're on a bit and then come in, like especially learn hiragana, learn katakana, learn some kanji, some basics, it will always help you. But in any case, the most efficient way is to go to the country. Oh, I didn't know I was your age. Maybe I should teach Japanese online. You could try Meows, why not? I turned 30 about 30 minutes ago. What? Happy birthday! Oh my god, really? Happy birthday! You're very talented. The world needs more people like you. Oh, thank you, Chief. Sorry, I'm having struggle today to see all the chats together. Okay. Maybe actually because I can move this here. It will be better because today I'm not sharing my screen, so I can just put things in my monitor in front of me. Why didn't I think of that? Awesome. So let's go to the next question. Well, they were talking about basically that, like how, like, do I need, okay, research about artist animation, right? So I didn't have to do research on my own. Like get to study about animation style in the 90s and write an essay. That's more of what I did actually in university in Spain, because I studied audiovisual communication and we studied mostly cinema. It wasn't animation, it was like cinema stuff, but I would try to go to cinema / animation. And we did like, okay, from getting like various books and make your hypothesis, like I think this happened in those years and this is the main style because blah blah blah. But that's not what a vocational school is, at least my school, and from what I know from most of the other schools. The vocational school of animation, their main purpose is to train you so you can enter to animation in a studio in Japan. Most likely your level will not even be great because they assume that even in the animation industry, when you enter as a rookie, as almost amateur, they will keep training you. So they will just give you all the tools so you pass the interview. So you have a good portfolio. Again, that's what I was saying. Start, if you want to be an animator, start drawing now. Then in the animation school, you level up. And then when you're an animator, you already start making money as soon as possible, because the better you are, the more money you can make because you're faster, more quality, and so on. So start drawing now. And study Japanese, if that's the country where you want to live. I mean, yes, you could study here, like you could live here, have a student visa or some other type of visa, or you can and still work in animation studio and use a lot of Google Translate and things like that. You could also do it from your own country, but the path I'm saying is how to enter, like what I did when my goal was to enter to an animation studio in Japan, which I didn't do, I created my own. I studied Japanese 5 years. Cool. Yeah, I mean, in my case, I studied for 3 years before going to Japan, but it was like 1-2 hours a week and something like a bit more informal if you compare to Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 hours in a school in Japan. You get out, you have to speak some Japanese, it's all around you, and you have homework. So that's why when I entered, after 3 years of studying Japanese in Spain, when I entered to Japan, they put me in a 6-month Japanese class. Like people who have been studying in Japan. Like they put me with people who had started from zero 6 months ago in Japan. Does that make sense? Am I explaining it right? What I have question, what's considered a young animator in Japan? I mean, a young animator, it depends if they're talking about young animator as they started recently, like they started a year ago only, or about their age. As I was saying, the Japanese, like the average age of the Japanese students that they were with me in the vocational school were like just graduated from high school, so they were like 19ish, 20, so they would enter to animation industry in their 20s, 21, something like that. They would be like young animators, and usually after 1-2 years, people it's like a big like, okay, I really want to keep doing this, or they quit and try something else, which is fine in any industry. Like you have to try what's your thing. Are they more likely to pick up younger people? As far as I heard, yes. But again, it depends on your skill as well. So if you're experienced, like you're older and experienced, they can also catch you because that's what they're looking for. If you're as good, like it depends on your skill. Like usually they pick up younger people because that's also the bigger pool they have to choose from, and because they may think, okay, they can train that person from scratch from them studio. I don't know. I'm talking about hearsay from years ago, so I really don't know. Most people think. Okay, I think. Okay, people in the chat, if I missed your question, type it in again. All right, let me see. Discord, let me see. Instagram. I'm checking the YouTube. Again, now it's your time to. I'm starting to reply to new questions, and I know I missed something in the chat. I left some because I replied to some that I thought it were fast, and I could introduce to what I was talking about. But yeah, really like your work. Wash hands. Thank you. Whoa. Oh, hello. You got bad. No. Okay, also hello to everyone new here. Usually in these streams, what I do is like I animate or I design characters for the projects we have for our animation studio, or sometimes I actually paint panels for the comics of Windy Lining, our webcomic that's free to read online, and so on. But right now we're into paperwork stuff. I received a lot of questions like in a bunch on Instagram lately. I decided to just go for it because yeah, I'm asked these things often. Trying to look for questions. Scholarship question. Mar, do you know any good institution for motion graphics in Japan? Sadly, I don't. What I studied was very focused on traditional animation, although in the last year I know that they tried to introduce a bit more digital, but still like 2D. Very 2D, very hand-drawn, even in 2D. Like what you're seeing in here. Okay. Sorry, I'm smiling because some people is very nice and you're so nice in the chat, come on. Vocational school, what scholarships? Okay, I say I have something. What are the factors that define a good story and characters? Okay, we're going a bit far away from the theme of this live stream, which is about experience in animation. Vocational school, oh my god, it's so long to say that. But it's a good question. So, whoa, questions, they're coming in. Okay, so how do you define a good story and characters? Okay, my opinion, how I do it. A good story must have some conflict. Otherwise, there's no story, right? It's like I went to the post office. Right? But when I say I was going to the post office when I suddenly found a shiny rock in the ground, and when I picked it up, I was followed by someone who looked like a thief. There is like, oh, something's happening here. Like, will she get to the post office? Is the thief related to the shiny stone? Then you start getting things. So first, you need conflict that relates to the person who's reading it. For example, I was going to the post office. Most likely most of you guys here have also felt like you were doing such a quotidian thing like going to the post office and then found something interesting. You start to adding adventures like, ooh, this could be me-ish, right? So make it relate. Could be a story about like family, a story about a love, about money, about like philosophical, like inner questions. It could be about anything. So the story must be relatable. It must have conflict, and from what makes a story that's something I want to tell, it must have a message that relates to the characters. What defines a good story and characters? The characters must develop from one point to another, emotionally, physically, like they need to change according to the message you're trying to commit. So let's try I don't know, I'm trying to think of a very classic English story, which message I may agree or not. Okay, let's say Spirited Away. Chihiro, the little girl, gets through a whole adventure. So she starts very childlike, spoiled, complaining about things, taking many things for granted, and she evolves to taking courage, being responsible for her actions, taking care of the loved ones, like not just take care for myself, but take care of others. So that's an evolution there, right? There's an evolution, and it drives to a message of like courage and I don't know, I don't think I have the courage enough right now to say like I think Chihiro's Spirited Away is about this and this is the final message. People can read it differently, and from what I believe the director's intention is to entertain and make people like entertain, like Tanashimi, like make people laugh, smile, and have a good time watching the story. So I don't know if there's a specific message to the story that I could say, but let's say, for example, the Beauty and the Beast. The Beauty and the Beast message that they repeat all the time is that beauty is inside, so the character should grow to show how now they believe, and it's a good thing that we understand that beauty is inside us, not in the physique. I hope that was a good summary of my trying not to go so long at what defines a good story and characters. So conflict, relatable, in the characters move to A to B according to a message. So good characters are a character that explains well the message and the core of the story. So for example, if in the Beauty and the Beast, the Beast is already beautiful from the start, and everyone believes so, and he believes he's beautiful, that would make no sense. And it's not bad that he's beautiful itself, it's just like in the story it makes no sense, so it would be a bad character. That's what I'm trying to say on like how to have a good character. It needs to fit. Okay, another question from William. Are you guys hiring for people at your studio, freelancers looking for some experience? We have various options of recruiting. Volunteer job, so usually we do that in one project to see how we work together, and then we jump to paid work. So if you're interested on getting into the studio, and for anyone who would be interested, follow this form and we'll see you. I may contact you. I mean, I read every entry sent to this form, but I cannot promise to take people on. Question. Right now, like the project we're about to start, that hopefully will start soon. We're closing out some things. I mean, maybe it doesn't happen, but we should be starting soon. We are already 6 or so, 5, 6 gathered together, and it's not just animators. It's background artists or editors and so on. So you'll see if you're interested to join. Okay. So Mar, I've been practicing painting backgrounds in watercolor. Nice. I just found out that most animation studios in Japan use poster colors. Should I continue watercolor or switch over to poster color? I painted with poster color and I found it easier to watercolor. By the way, that's personal. And in the school we practice with poster color. I would suggest to switch if you like. I mean, if you enjoy better watercolor. There's some studios that may use it, for a specific film, and you're getting still like a good skill that you can transport to poster color. It's not like you're painting always in Photoshop and then you need to learn traditional, which is a whole different process. From watercolor to poster color is not as different. But yeah, if you want to really you want to be a traditional watercolor artist in the industry in Japan, then yes, switch to poster color anytime you can. Nell says, wow, lovely summary, Mar. Definitely got some ideas ringing now. Another question. I mean, thank you. I'm happy it helped. Another question. What's the most mind-bending story animation you've watched? Are you a fan of this genre? Mind-bending? I'm not sure I understand that, the meaning of that. Can you define what do you mean, or try to ask me the question with different words? What's a mind-bending story? Like it's complicated to understand, or there's like a big switch in the middle? Like, your name was really good, if that's what you're meaning. Let me pour a bit of tea. I should drink. I've been talking straight for 1 hour now. Like, hydration is important. So, by the way, remind it to yourself. If you're not, take some water, or drink of your choice. I like this about having the video next. It's nice, but then yeah, if I'm animating, screen should look different. I'm getting time for more questions to get in. Let me check the Twitch. have one viewer. Please go ahead, and anyone who's on Twitch also ask questions I can receive from any side. I mean, not force, just please enjoy the time here. Okay, everything seems to work well. It's very interesting how I really lose track of things and what I was doing and what I was saying compared to my normal life and my normal talk. But yeah, when you have a chat, then the live stream screen to check everything is fine, and then you have like the YouTube, the Twitch to check, and like Instagram for the questions, and then I have the links I keep posting to all of you, like, okay, like now let's talk about going on or about getting inside our team. By the way, especially if you're new, remember to subscribe to this channel, because normally I do live streams a bit earlier than this time every week, but I also do like surprise streams and other videos, so if you don't want to miss it, go for it. As I was saying, usually I do I do videos where I'm actually animating, but I'm always open to questions, and so on. So yeah, subscribe for everything. And by the way, thank you very much for your likes to the video. I saw some nice likes here. Alright, I talked enough and rambled enough to collect some new questions. I will be streaming for another at least 15 minutes. We'll see. I have energy today. Xenis asks, are backgrounds mostly made digitally or traditional in Japan? Good question. I mean, I haven't seen all the backgrounds and have the statistics. And also, I'm guessing you're asking for like 2020, right? Like, or like in the last years, because if you ask in total, then yeah, traditional. But in the last years, there's more digital art for backgrounds. They mostly use Photoshop, as in traditional. They usually most poster colors. That's what I learned in animation school a few years ago when I graduated. But yeah, I don't know what's like the most used lately. Like, it also depends on the genre I find. Like, when I see like shoujo manga, like shoujo anime, like girly anime and so on, it's most likely to be traditional, like kids animation. No, sorry, digital, like kids animation, the ones I see on the television that are like, usually when you have like free television channels in Japan, most of the animation genres and what you see is for kids or very young audiences. Why? Because they're basically very long advertisements. So you, like Pokemon, it's so you get the game, it's so you get the toys, and the merchandise, like the animation is like the extra thing to make more buys. Like there are so many others that are like for this target, and most of what I'm seeing recently it's digitally animated, but then there's other things that are not. So yeah, I guess it depends a bit on in the studio, on the genre, on the budget. Okay, so my Wi-Fi is bad. Many Asian adults don't resemble the age, they tend to look younger. I'm so bad, I'm guessing ages in general, and then in Japan it's like, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. Like, oh, that looks like maybe university years, and they're like 30 something, and then, I don't know. And then there's like young girls that's like, I don't know if she could be a mom already or she's in high school. Like, I'm thinking like mamas has a 10-year-old kid, like, sorry. Wow, like, especially in Tokyo, they use so much makeup in general. When I have the chance to travel around Japan, like get a bit farther, you notice they don't use that much makeup. You can actually see, like, this is the Asian face. Like, they're Asian. In Tokyo, they're Japanese in their style. of arrangement. Anyway. Yeah, same. I have very poor perception of age. Right. Have you seen Angel's Egg? Not yet. I haven't noted, but I also know that it's a deep movie, and I wanna see it in a day. Like I wanna really like feel like it. Like I feel like something like will make me think, and I want to appreciate the animation and so on. So no, I haven't seen it, but it's in my plan. Thank you for the suggestion. I've been suggested it again. I don't know if it was exactly by you or some other in these live streams. Oh, Nelsis, my ending story is as in you really cannot predict where the story is going, like Steins Gate or Inception. Okay, so I think I was right. Yeah, so I would say like Your Name on a later movie. Of course, I cannot say much because then I will spoil for everyone, but I liked how it didn't go where I expected. Other movies that I really like. Let me say the my question. Yeah, the most bending story animation you've watched. Okay, so it could not have to be an animation. Oof. You know what? I really don't know. I mean, I've seen other animations with like a big switch. I mean, if it's about the manga, like Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle from Collab, like the new Sakura and Shaoran story, like from the middle, it's like, what? It gets so complicated, so dark all of a sudden. But it also makes sense in their world, so yeah, that was something was like shocking for everyone. And I love that one. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Sakura, so of course I liked everything that was after that. You finished the animation with the girl and boy with long hair in it. The animation I was doing in the last weeks, it's finished. It's delivered to the client, and now we're waiting for the client has it happy, and we're waiting for him to upload it in his YouTube channel. Like, I think he's assembling like the music and sounds that go around it. So it's really good. If you want to not miss it, okay, so because it will not be uploaded to this channel, I highly suggest you and others maybe to go to the newsletter, like subscribe to the newsletter, because I will for sure mention it there. So not to miss animation. Publishing links. Did I write something wrong? No. Okay. I would love to see your animation stream and process. I do sketches mostly as a hobby, but have always been intrigued by animation works. Thank you. Then please go ahead and subscribe the next, maybe not exactly the next stream next week, but we'll do more animation obviously, and you'll see the process. You can also keep checking like in the channel. I have other live streams. By the title, more or less, you will guess if I'm animating there or not. I have other more like tutorial-like videos, or more like it's a live stream, but I cut some parts so actually you see like the steps of my animation process, or the like training for my stuff, like the studio stuff. So I mentioned JoJo's, most likely. I think that was when I was talking about background. I'm a bit late checking the chat right now. When I get a teaching job in Japan, at least I can blend in with the students. Possibly, if you look so young. Asian faces and ancient Japanese faces are actually different. Yeah. Well, that's also like if you look at and I will ramble a lot, if you look at paintings of European people of 1-2 centuries ago, people looks different. It's like the women were built different because of like the type of corset and how it was built. Like men also different from the shoulder, like the clothes makes a lot on the shape, like on the haircut, and like the silhouettes look different, and then the paintings will look different. Like for example, I just ran, like I just saw like a painting today where the woman's face looked like so long, so soft, and then also like super flowy hair. So of course the human body and people can change, but it's also interesting how it's a lot on makeup, clothes, picture angles, right? Just if you're looking a movie from, I don't know, like 50 years ago, like filmed 50 years ago about the 50 years ago environment, people will look so different just because like the makeup, the clothes, and everything, and the perspective and the lighting of scenes. So interesting stuff. I saw Angel's X on YouTube a while ago. I did mention it on here before. Yeah, and it was you. Yeah, I mean, I've received, like, it will be interesting. I want to see Angel's Egg at some point. It's not exactly my genre, but sometimes I do this, like, okay, it's not my genre, but I received enough influences from various places to want to watch it anyway because of the visuals or the story depth or something. Oh, 100 messages today with the chat. Nice. Woohoo, thank you everyone. So many questions today. It's been so interesting. I read that manga too. It's kind of funny that most mind-bending stories have time manipulation as the main key factor. I mean, that makes things easier, I guess, to things. Oh, Death Note. Oh, Death Note, I love it. I love it. Okay, I'll shut up because it will be spoilers. I cannot talk about it. If you haven't read this Note, I do recommend it. Bonjour, Mar. Hey, Berkeley, how are you doing? Haven't seen you in a lesson for a while. Nice to see you here. Please don't tell me you're dying from animation projects. Please survive. Berkeley, worst pronunciation ever. Sorry. Bear Creek here, good animator. I changed Japanese. Are you talking about the Ainu people? Ainu? It should be Ainu, right? Is it Ainu people? Yeah, you're a Jomon. You're talking about like, yeah, that's ancient. That's ancient. No, people who live in Japan before the people from Asia came. So that could be the Ainu. I don't know enough about history right now. Jomon. I think I've seen statues from them. I'm dying much more, says Berkeley. Please don't die. Okay, so people in the chat, you know much more about genealogy of Japan. I don't even know how to talk about it. Alright, I'll take 1 or 2 more questions at most, and most likely close up before I go to accounting books again. Very lovely. I'm actually liking studying and learning about it. Just takes a lot of time that then I'm not drawing and so on. And to be honest, I look with so much energy today, but this morning was a bit tough. Enjoy my tea. Just waiting if there's a couple more questions to talk about, like if you want something about animation specifically. Let me see that everything works well. Oh my god. It's working well. Ooh, we have some new follower on Twitch. Thank you so much. I don't think I saw the notification at that point. Okay. Thank you so much for coming in, Isa. I know you're still here. Okay, I like translating accent people in all movies speak with. Oh, the accent. It sounds so clear even if it is fast. Also, when just hearing the way normal people spoke just back in the 1970s, you sound so clear. That's nice. I mean, I'm getting used to very strange-ish English, to be honest, thanks to like dramas and so on. Oh my god, I really gotta have like to brush my hair now. I never had this habit because with the curly hair you cannot touch it. If it's curly and you do like this, it becomes like, yeah. Hope it's not distracting. I was thinking about the Aboriginals in Japan. We're in the topic of Japan and so on. I started the stream late, but I'm in love with the content and knowledge you share. Thank you so much, Nell. I definitely stick for more. Take care, Mar, and stay happy and safe. Same to you, Nell. Nice to have you here. It's been nice to have like also your questions and yeah, in general meeting you. So remember to stay for like to subscribe if you wanna stay for more or join the newsletter. Usually, like this stream was a bit later than usual. Usually we start at 1 p.m. Japanese time. Today we started at 2 p.m. and it's 3 p.m. now. Berserk. Okay, I'm starting to lose a bit of the track of it, so we may be closing soon. Let me see that everything is fine again. Okay, I received an application from someone who wants to join the team. We'll see. I'll see that later. Oh, something happened in the... Yeah. Anyway, alright, so I think it's time to close. Thanks for answering so many questions. Thanks to you. Okay, so, oof. You can see I'm tired now, right? My brain's not working anymore. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you learned, or that you were entertained, or that you were both learning and being entertained. Present myself again and what I do. My name is Ma. I created an animation and comic studio in Japan sort of recently, but I also I did animation from before. I studied animation in Japan, and mostly this live stream was about that, about like my experience, the requirements, the Japanese learning, and so on. Usually we do weekly live streams more about like the animation, not exactly process, but me animating and talking to people and taking the time to just socialize, so on. As I mentioned before, if you want to go to live and study in Japan, I do suggest going through Vocational first. They will help you like find a Japanese language school, or maybe like even talk about higher education studies, other options, and they also have like online courses. If you want to see more of our studio, to check our newsletter. I have the link around here, like in the description I have the link to the newsletter. Also, if you don't want to miss the animations or like free content or paid content I have, you can follow us on Patreon. Patreon is like a monthly subscription-ish type of platform where you would support us and get some rewards. But you can also, I can also post there things for free. So if I post something on Twitter, I post something on Instagram, I post something on YouTube and so on, I make sure to also post in Patreon for free, so you can follow me there. Like the link is in the description again. Follow me there and you will see all the posts like, oh, update, we're talking about this, update, we'll have live streams, update, we'll have like, look at this drawing sketch that we had. So you just follow us there, and then if you want to support, you can then of course pledge and become a patron, and then like of course like thank you very much for your help. What else? I think that's it. Just hang on until next week. Some weeks I may be off because of either live happening. It's not very often. Usually I'm here every week, but I may be off because of in between project demands. Like I really need to go to do some paperwork today, and that's it. I can also do surprise streams. That's why I was suggesting that you subscribe to the channel, like activate notifications so you know like, hey, Maria's streaming today, because okay, this is the time I'm drawing today and I want to share something. That happens too. Some Japanese still look like the German people. Ah, interesting. Okay, so I guess that's it. Thank you very much for being so engaging in the chat. It's so fun. It's social time, talking about the things I love so much, which is the animation industry. Thank you very much again. I will not make this even longer. And as Ramon says, ladies and gentlemen, have a good day or night. Goodbye everyone. Enjoy your day. See you in the next week.